As we begin tonight with Montgomery County students being in hot water after video was recorded of them singing a chant that uses a racist word on a school bus, and now they're facing discipline.
But there's more to the story and why the kids were chanting that offensive rant. Their motivation may have been different than what you think. Fox 5's Alexander Lamone explains.
Well, guys, the principal of Robert Frost Middle School told me he does not want to brush this incident under the rug. Instead, he wants to focus on it and use it as a teachable moment to educate students about racial diversity and respect. All of this after that video surfaced on social media that shows the students using a chant with racist and offensive language. Take a look at the video. As you heard, the chant uses the N-word, and the video was taken yesterday on board a school bus by another student who was offended, and her parents actually posted it on Facebook. Now, today, the Montgomery County Public Schools District explains that the students were actually quoting a different video, a Vine video. Take a look at that.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many are in my store? I know you're stealing. 1, 2, 3.
Now, this Vine video was actually made to draw attention and awareness to racial profiling of African-American men in stores. That's the video they were quoting. Now, of course, the school district says they can't say for sure what the motivation or the mindset of the students was when they were singing it on the bus, but either way, it does not matter because they will be disciplined regardless. Now, today we did speak to the principal of the school as well as several parents.
In their minds, they think it's funny. They just think it's funny. Certainly, when you use that word, it's offensive to most people, and it certainly make people feel uncomfortable. So again, we're going to use this as a teachable moment to share with our students so we can understand each other and learn more about each other's cultures and be able to move forward.
Yeah, kids are kids.
Kids are kids. This is a great community. Our kids enjoy it a lot, and there's no racism at all.
Yeah, no racism. We are like American Indian family, and my son has never complained of anything like that.
I think parents sometimes need to, clamp down on it and make them not use that word. So yeah, but sometimes the parents can't be there, like, because all the time. I mean, children in general are really good to each other.
Now, again, I'm told by the school district that the students involved in this chant actually come from diverse backgrounds, including Asian, Hispanic, and African American. Again, they will be disciplined, and tonight the school sent a letter home to parents reminding them that this kind of language and behavior is just completely unacceptable. Reporting live in Rockville, Alexandra Limon, Fox 5 Local News.
Anything to aid his campaign, I don't support him.
No, I know. Make sure you get that on camera, right? No, but you don't get that interview.
That's not what bigotry means.
You just get that on camera,
That's
right?
not what bigotry means.
The media wants to
That's not what bigotry means.
Why don't you get it on camera?
Yourself.
Why don't you get it on camera instead of editing?
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Instead of editing his $1 million a month anonymous Feed the Children donations. Why don't you get that on camera?
Why don't you wait?
Why don't you get on camera that he recruited immigrants to help him build towers so he could put them up? Oh, you don't get that on camera, right? This is what you get on camera. This is what you get on camera, right? And you edit it accordingly. You wait until they bait him, and then you edit it, right? You don't include the fact that we have an awesome president now who took a step down from unappreciative motherfuckers. Okay? Unappreciative.
What's your name? So I got it.
None of you damn. Oh, you'll edit it. You'll edit it and portray it as something totally different than what it really is, right? So you're not getting my name. You're getting a you. You don't give it. You don't give it as it really is. You don't give it or portray it as it really is. A good man with a good, awesome heart that traveled the world feeding the kids. You motherfucker.
Thank you.
I appreciate the show. Awesome. Applaud.
Luther King was a
Round
slut.
of applause.
He was a slut.
Round
he
of
fucked
applause.
up white people. Martin Luther was fucking white people the day he died. Martin Luther King.
Coming, Mom. I'm on the phone with him.
He was fucking white people.
Her. Can you stop and just go?
Oh, that's Giving me a show, baby. Love it.
The city's African American residents and African American neighborhoods bore the brunt of this activity. Out of the data we surveyed, the police department made roughly 44% of its stops in two small, predominantly African American districts that contain only 11% of the city's population. African Americans accounted for 95% of the 410 individuals the police department stopped at least 10 times. Indeed, one African American man was stopped 30 times in less than 4 years, with none of the stops resulting in a citation or a criminal charge. We also found a pattern or practice of excessive force. For example, officers frequently resorted to physical force when a person did not immediately respond to verbal commands, even where the person was posing no imminent threat to the officer or others. Officers were ending up in unnecessarily violent confrontations with people in with mental health disabilities. We have seen communities throughout the country that improved policies and enhanced training and de-escalation and dealing with people in crisis can actually enhance officer safety and reduce the need for force. BPD also violates the First Amendment by retaliating against individuals engaged in constitutionally protected activities. Officers frequently detain and arrest members of the public for engaging in speech that officers perceive to be critical or disrespectful. And BPD officers use force against members of the public who are engaging in protected speech. Finally, although this pattern or practice investigation did not review the specific circumstances surrounding Freddie Gray's death, we did investigate BPD's transport practices. And our report identifies concerns about the safety risks and lack of data in BPD's transport practices. We also identified deficiencies in the way that BPD investigates sexual assaults.
Get on the ground now! You can't get on the ground! Put your hands behind your back! Do it now! Put your hands behind your back!
I wanted to hit a couple of those speakers so hard, I would have hit them. No. I was going to hit them, so I was all set. And then I got a call from a highly respected governor. How's it going, Donald? I said, well, it's going good, but they're really saying bad things about me. I'm going to hit them so hard. I was going to hit one guy in particular, a very little guy. I was going to hit this guy so hard his head would spin. He wouldn't know what the hell happened. And he came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere. They make deals with me. Would you help me with this? Would you make this deal and solve the problem? I solved the problem. I do a great job. I was going to hit a number of those speakers so hard their heads would spin. They'd never recover. And that's what I did with a lot of, that's why I still don't have certain people endorsing me. They still haven't recovered, okay? You know?
Play the video.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
That's not 5 people. That's far more than 5 people. But I'm trying to understand, why would you excuse that as if that's no big deal? Oh, it's just sort of in fun. That's offensive to Americans. That's offensive to American soldiers. That's offensive to World War II veterans who actually fought in that war. How do you say, that's exuberance?
Because that's what it was.
So are you a white supremacist?
No, I'm not a white supremacist, absolutely. White supremacy means that a white person would want to rule over other people.
So you don't want to rule over other people?
I absolutely do not. We've had white supremacy in our past, whether you think of imperialism, slavery, colonialism, that's been a disaster. So no, I don't want to go back to that.
So what are you trying to go, so what are you saying? Because in your video you said, we don't need them, they need us. Who's they?
Yes.
Who's they?
The white people ultimately don't need other races in order to succeed, in order to be ourselves. Absolutely not.
So how do you think America became the greatest economic nation without...
Not through black people.
Oh, it wasn't? It wasn't because of free labor?
Are you talking about slavery?
No, I'm talking about slavery and also what happened after slavery, which Douglas Blackman talked about slavery by another name. So I'm trying to understand, when you say didn't need it, how do you think America became the greatest economy that it did? How do you think that happened?
Through the genius of Europeans.
How was the genius of Europeans when the fact of the matter is it was actually King Cotton that supplied the economic means for America to do so? And that was a result of free labor from black people. Richard, here's what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. And I'm not a psychologist.
Can I finish my point?
But you're afraid. You are afraid that you now are going to have to compete. You've had such a head start. You've had an 80-yard head start in a 100-meter dash, and now you're upset that people are catching up.
Sure.
Why are you so afraid?
Sure, everyone likes to win. But to be honest, in terms of what's great about Donald Trump is that he hasn't been saying, oh, this is great global competition for all Americans, let's do it. No, he's actually said, I care about my people first. I care about people. He's referring to all Americans. When he says, my people first, America first, what he's saying is that he is going to help the people of this country first.
But you don't
he's
want
not going to throw them out to the wind.
But you don't want that. You don't want...
Yes, I do.
So you don't mind blacks and Hispanics and Asians, Native Americans getting jobs, doing well. You don't mind that?
It's about protecting my people. That's what it's about.
But here's the people. When you keep saying my people, then you say all Americans when you're not talking about it. Here's the reality, Richard. The reality is this here.
You have to navigate between people you care about and all citizens.
Here's the deal, Richard. We're not going anywhere. And see, Richard, it's about to be a little tough for you. About a little tough for you, Richard, because see, you and your people have had a great head start. Tremendous head start. 20-odd Africans arriving in 1619.
Who gave us this head start?
One second. 16. But see, that's what I'm saying. When you have a head start, that means you're scared to compete. See, I know some other whites out there who are not white nationalists, who are not afraid of competition, who are not afraid of this. But here's the reality. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
And you might want to suck that up. And I know it's rough. But I suggest what you should be doing, Richard, is preparing your generation for a world of competition where you have to where you don't get the head start your mom and daddy gave you, that you're going to start maybe not 80 yards ahead, but 30. But you know what? You may want to train harder because we're training harder and we're going to catch up.
We're going to win. And also,
you're not going to win, Richard.
Mr. Martin, I want to tell you've got to prepare yourself. You've dealt with a bunch of guilt-ridden, silly whites all your life, and we are waking up. We are recognizing who we are, and we see an amazing future.
Richard,
so you better get ready.
I'm telling you right now, Richard, here's the deal. 1619, 20-odd Africans arrived, Fort Comfort, Virginia, okay, 1619, 397 years ago. Trust me, we're resilient. We're not going anywhere. And I'm going to tell you right here, and as my frat brother Vertner Woodson Tandy said in 1937, we will fight until hell freezes over, and then we will fight on the ice. You better go work out, because you got to fight on your hands. Thanks a bunch.